Hey everyone, this is Mike, and earlier today the live letter for 5.1 concluded, and I thought I'd write up some stuff and talk about some of the new things that will be in 5.1 and also its upcoming patch 5.11, which is mainly going to be for some extra content going to be added there as well. So first of all, we have new MSQ. We were expecting this, of course. Every major patch has new story involved. With this one we also have a new MSQ dungeon. So we'll just be able to access that dungeon somewhere throughout the main story. Other than that, we also have some beast tribe quests. We have the pixies. This also seems to come with a very weird pixie playground, it looks like. I got a picture on screen from it right now, but it does look a bit weird. I'm not really sure what I should think of that. Other than that, there's also, of course, a lot of new playable content that we can do. First of all, Hades Extreme. We saw this coming, same with Shinryu, and I believe it was Nidhogg. Those were all for the 0.1 patches as well in the previous expansions. Pretty excited for this one because Hades was a pretty cool fight. Also, the theme song for Hades is amazing. It's probably one of my favorite themes in the game at the moment. So yeah, really excited for that one. But the one that I am much more excited about are the 24-man and the next ultimate raid. So the 24-man was already teased on the FanFest. We knew it was going to be from Nier. They showcased a few of the bosses that we're going to be seeing. They also showed off some of the areas that you can walk through. Looks really beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. I believe it's a remix of The Weight of the World, which is one of my favorite songs from Nier itself. So really looking forward to doing that one. You can probably expect a day one clear of that at some point in the future as well on the channel. I'll also go over what kind of content I'll be covering later as well. But yeah, 24-man, really looking forward to it. Other than that, we also have our ultimate coming 2 weeks after the patch. They did reveal it was going to be Alexander this time. It's going to be called the Epic of Alexander. Not necessarily the best name, but we'll just leave it at that. I'm more interested in the fight itself. So far all we know is that Brute Justice, Cruise Chaser and Alexander himself will be the 3 main bosses. And it seems like our doorman is nobody else than Pepsi Man himself from A3 Savage. The original static breaker, so we'll see what happens this time around. Other than this, there were also some other new pieces of content that are coming out that maybe not interest me as much, but that will probably interest some other people quite a bit. So first of all, Blue Mage is gonna get a new level cap all the way up to level 60, meaning that you can get new skills, you can grind out levels again. There will also be a change to the Blue Mage specific carnival, I believe it was called, the Mask Carnival or something like that. So you've got that to look forward to if you're somebody that likes to play Blue Mage. Now, on the other hand, if you're really into PvP or the Gold Saucer, you're going to have a new Gold Saucer activity that you can play, and there's also going to be a new PvP map / game mode, which is going to be called the Onsal Hakar, I believe. Takes place at the Azim Steppe. Looked really cool, but I'm not really into PvP myself. On the other hand, if you're somebody that likes to craft and gather, there's going to be some updates coming to the systems as well. Seems like there's going to be some kind of a gathering recipe book or something like that that you can see. For me, honestly, it's not going to replace sites like Garland Tools or FF14 Teamcraft, because those are sites that I usually like to use when I'm crafting or gathering because they're really useful. But it does seem like people that maybe do not have a second monitor open or something like that, that they'll be able to use the in-game systems a bit more, because it does look pretty cool. Now, with that also comes the Ishgard Restoration, which is going to be some new endgame crafting / gathering content, in which you're going to be helping for the restoration of Ishgard itself. Now, when they showed us the screenshot of the area of where the restoration is going to take place, it immediately made me think of a housing area. So I'm not quite sure if once we did restore Ishgard that we maybe have a new housing area coming in 6.0, 6.1, something like that. I don't know, but I'm really excited about it because there was also a lot of people asking for Ishgard housing. Because it is a really cool place. I definitely won't be training in my house in Shirogane for it, but I do know a lot of other people that would. So really looking forward to seeing if that is actually going to be there. Other than that, there's also New Game Plus, so if you're somebody that wants to replay through the story quest, then you can do that as well. Now, something that interests me a whole lot more are the job adjustments. In the previous live letter, they said that they were going to be making some major changes to Ninja, Samurai and Summoner in specific, but there's also a lot of other jobs that are getting some adjustments, both quality of life changes, like for example bringing pets back into the party list. Sometimes when I was playing Scholar I would not realize whether or not I had my pet out or not, because I'm one of those bad scholars that places my pet and then forgets to bring her with me. So my fairy just despawns, and then I don't realize that I have my pet until I want to use the Sarah, for example, or when I want to use Fey Illumination or something like that. So it's really good that it's back into the party list. Will also make it easier to target again or something like that. Although I'm not quite sure if you'll be able to spread atlos of your fairy now or something like that, but we'll have to see that in the future. But it is really good adjustment that we'll be able to see our pets back in the party list, so that you don't have to guess whether or not your fairy is alive or not. Other than this, there's also some other small changes and some things that they talked about, like for example usability of Scholar. Does this mean that pet actions will become like non-off global cooldowns again? Like you can just use them whilst you're casting something? Because that would be really cool, although I don't really think that will be the case. Now, let's go a little bit more into specific about Ninja, Samurai, and Summoner. So we'll talk about Summoner first, as that is the easiest one. Not too many changes to Summoner, unfortunately enough, because I did really think that it needed some help. But at least one of the major issues, the Eggy Assault actions, are now actual like GCDs and not off global cooldowns anymore. How exactly it's gonna work as like a casted ability, is it an instant ability, something like that, I don't know. But they are going to be global cooldowns. So it will at least alleviate some of all the off-global cooldowning that Summoner has. Now, other than this, we also have the Ruination being gone from Tri-Disaster. So with this, Ruination is just gone all of its own, and there's also a change made to Bane. How it all will play out, I'm not entirely sure, but they did say it should feel a lot better. Also, together with this, I want to touch a little bit on Red Mage, because Red Mage also is getting a couple of cool quality of life changes, and together with some other jobs that needed it, is also going to get a nice personal damage boost. Some other noteworthy people that are going to get a buff are the Machinist, the Dancer, and Bard is going to get some more synergy with getting some song effects, buffing the party back as well, like it did in Stormblood. Shouldn't be as much as it did back in Stormblood, but it is going to be some kind of a minor buff to the party again. What exactly that will be will remain to be seen when the patch or the patch notes come out. But I think it's probably just gonna be some kind of a crit effect like it did back in Stormblood. Now for Samurai, this is actually a really interesting change, and I'm really liking this one. So for Samurai, my main problem with the job were two things. First, Tsubame Gaishi felt a little bit clunky to use, and second of all, you had Shoha, which was your level 80 skill, which you barely never use, because the only way you would use it in a fight where you had 100% uptime was to weave meditation in between GCDs and then just hope you get a proc. Because of course the meditation works on the server ticks. Server tick lasts 3 seconds, your GCD is usually somewhere around 2 seconds as a Samurai. So getting meditation stacks was really difficult in general, which made it very clunky to use Shoha unless there was a fight where you had downtime and you had the time to meditate, like something like, for example, Leviathan or Titan. But now they're going to change it, so basically you can now gain charges of meditation stacks doing 3 different things. So first of all, you can get it from just meditating like you always could, but you can now also get it from your EI Jutsus and your Tsubame Gaishi. And once you get 3 stacks, you can use your Shoha move. So this should make Samurai's Shoha a lot more usable, and it's going to be an actual skill that is going to be part of your rotation now. So I'm really looking forward to that. Other than that, Tsubame Gaishi is now also going to scale with skill speed, so hopefully this will line it up a lot better with your Midares and stuff like that. So Samurai should see a nice boost in his personal DPS, which it needed, to be frank, because Monk was a bit too strong. Monk they are nerfing, but they're only nerfing its mantra usage, so I think it's just a potency nerf to the mantra, but the rest of Monk is remaining untouched. So Monk is still going to be the powerhouse that it is right now. It's just going to give a little bit less of a healing boost to the party. Now, the last one, and the one that I am really interested in, is Ninja. Now, for the people that don't know, Ninja was my first level 60 job. First job I raided on, first job that I cleared the Savage tier on, and also the first job that I cleared an Ultimate on. So Ninja will always stay very close to my heart. And I wasn't really a huge fan of what they did in Shadowbringers. The job plays fine, but there are a little bit too many issues with all of the double weaving and stuff like that, that I really was not a huge fan of, which is also the reason why I haven't played it that much. But Ninja has always stayed close to my heart because of all the aforementioned reasons, and I would always like to play it because it is still a really fun job in my opinion. But with all of the changes that they're making now in the 5.1 patch, it seems like it's going to have a very, very, very nice playstyle. It's going to feel kind of like a melee dancer, which, if you've seen my dancer overview, you'll know how much I enjoy playing dancer and how well I think that they designed that job. It does have some issues here and there that I'm not a huge fan of, like for example the dances being timed on a cooldown and not scaling with skill speed, so it feels a bit weird sometimes. But overall I really enjoyed dancer, and they're kind of taking the dancer approach with ninja now, where ninjutsus become a part of your GCD. They're also going to be charged actions. TCJ has gone through a very big change. It's actually a very small change, but it has a really big impact on how you play it. And then your Ninki usage is going to be changing as well, as now all of your Ninki attacks only require 50 Ninki instead of 80, but you also generate less Ninki, so you'll still see about the same Ninki usage, I would assume, but now you can save your Ninki for burst windows, or if you have something up like Mug or Meisui, you're not necessarily going to overcap if you have over that 50 gauge, because previously you had to wait until you had 80 gauge to use your Ninki attack. But now you can just use it at 50 and makes it so that managing your Ninki gauge should be a whole lot better. Shadowfang also becomes its own special GCD on a 60-second cooldown, kind of like Gunbreaker, Sonic Break, I guess you could say. And Trick Attack is also seeing some very big changes. The percentage damage increase that it gives to the party is going to decrease, but on the other hand it's going to last 5 seconds longer, and you also do not need to execute it from the back anymore to implement it. So Ninja is seeing some very big changes in its playstyle as well as where it fits in a party. It should have a whole lot more personal DPS, but its raid utility is going to change a little bit again as well, bringing it more in line with some of the other party buffs, because most of the party buffs last for about 15 seconds, whereas Trick Attack was, I think, the only buff that lasts like 10 seconds or something like that. So yeah, that going up to 15 is also a pretty nice change. So for Ninja, can be sure that I'm going to be doing a video on that. For all of the other jobs, I might do like a 5.1 patch job changes, where I talk about most of the changes that went over to the other jobs. But for Ninja, you can definitely expect a separate video. Now, moving on with the stuff that you are going to be seeing on the channel once 5.1 comes out. So first of all, Hades Extreme, you can definitely expect a video of that, as well as a walkthrough of all of the mechanics, kind of like I did for the Eden Savage encounters. For Ultimate, you're definitely going to be seeing me stream that quite often, because I'm definitely going to be going in there with my my static and such. For the 24-man, I'll probably have a first clear video out as well. I'm not quite sure how I'll piece it together if there's too many wipes and such like that. I'll probably kind of do it like I did with my last Destiny video, where I went through the raid, where I just go through it, and then when we wipe I just delete the encounter from the footage and just patch stuff together like that, so that you can see that. I probably won't do a guide on that, because 24-mans are usually pretty easy, or pretty straightforward at least when it comes to their mechanics, so that shouldn't really be too much of a like a focus point of the channel, I guess you could say. But for Hades, and then once I do finally clear Alexander, there will definitely be some kind of a walkthrough video out on the channel as well, in the hopes that it will help some people out as well, because I got quite a lot of good feedback on the Eden Savage video, so it will definitely be there as well once I do get finished with Alexander. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I'm pretty excited about patch 5.1. Some of the other stuff like PvP and Ishgard and the Blue Mage stuff I'm not super excited about, but the 24-man, the job changes, and then of course the Ultimate Alexander, how can I not be excited for all of those things? So with all of that being said, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.